When the biggest winter storm in nearly 6 years took aim on southern Maryland, you knew who to turn to. JB Weather was with you before the storm to give you early warning of its potential.
I've been tracking the latest developments with our mid-season winter storm, and we could be looking at bands of more moderate to heavy snow centered here on southern Maryland
during the storm, with unparalleled live local coverage.
Forecaster John Bordash here with you, reporting live from Prince Frederick in Calvert counties.
That is likely producing upwards of 2 to 4 inches of snow per hour.
But we are looking at high snow totals across the region. We have high impacts on our roadways, and we are looking at increasing power outage numbers across the region.
And after the storm, to cover its historic aftermath.
Right now, we are sitting at right around 41,000 customers without power. Here's a look at that updated threat timeline I produced for you right around noon today. We will have travel impacts tomorrow. That black ice will be around.
We are looking at a widespread black ice event this morning across the region.
Your hometown weather forecaster is there to guide you through any storm, working to keep you and your family safe. Get updates on air, online, and on social media for local coverage Southern Maryland can count on. From Southern Maryland's weather leader, this is a JB Weather Alert.
Hello and good morning, everyone. I am Forecaster John Bordash with you in the Storm Center this morning, continuing to look everything over. We sit right after 9 a.m. and the storm has just about ended for many of us. But before we get too underway, if you can hear me, let me know in the comments before we get too underway with this one. And in the meantime, assuming you can hear me, you can see what our coastal storm is. It's bringing snow, really focused there on the Atlantic beaches. Yeah, we got a decent amount of snow right through about Ocean City up to Atlantic City through New York, getting right into southern New England. This storm is definitely a big one. And Casey says that she can hear me, which is awesome. So let me show you. I want to bring up a couple of things. First, let's come over here to the graphics. So feels like temperatures this morning. Yeah, this is what we recorded at 7:30, right around 13 degrees in Leonardtown. Talk about a chilly start. And if I bring you on over here, actually, so this won't be futurecast. These are current wind gusts that we have. So these are actually happening. So let me get that banner off there to avoid confusion. There we go. And you can see we're getting some of these gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour on over towards Ocean City. Locally, we have gusts between 20 to 30, 35 miles an hour across parts of the region. And these winds are now coming from the northwest as we're now on the backside of this storm. What can you expect as we head throughout the rest of today? We're going to have some blowing and drifting snow through the rest of the morning and probably getting into the afternoon as well. So do keep that in mind. But look at those wind chills only maxing out at around 14, 13 degrees or so. Wind gusts are going to be staying elevated. We might calm things down to 30 mile an hour gusts, but those are going to stay up there, which could lead to some outages. But I just took a look at the latest SMECO numbers, and we'd have very few outages, so I wouldn't expect too much out there. Roads, I would expect some snow-covered roadways, some slick spots. You should be able to get around, especially on the main roads, but do be aware that you do have some slush and some snow cover out there. And those roads should get better by the afternoon as plows are able to get out there, but I would expect a pretty decent refreeze across much of the region. Let me show you how much snow we saw, and these are official National Weather Service totals. Let me get this up. And so these are likely to be just a smidge lower than what you probably saw in your backyard. One area I've noted that seems to maybe be underrepresented here would be, as I let this load up, my apologies. One area that seems to be pretty underrepresented is probably the Mechanicsville area and northern parts of St. Mary's County. Lots of 5, 6, and 7 inch reports up there, which I don't doubt. I mean, he got 5 inches over in Prince Frederick, so I totally see how that's possible. We have no official report from the National Weather Service up there, and given how everything else kind of looks, this is how we came up with this map. But again, very possible that you saw locally higher totals where you are. The highest totals down here to the south, Ridge, and you can even see down the very southern tip near Point Lookout, shaded in that light blue, seeing 6 to 8 down there, much of southern St. Mary, southern Calvert, 4 to 6. This Lesby total and Leonardtown total are a little suspect for me. I would assume that they would be a little higher. and I looked all through the National Weather Service chat to try to see if we had any higher totals. So these are official, but I would really look at like the shading in the background. So you see how they're shaded in that darker green? That's 4 to 6. I think 4 to 6 is a lot more representative of what these zones saw. California 4 to 6, Hollywood 4 to 6, northwest of there. Once you get up to Huntingtown, Waldorf, on over towards Birdsville, general 2 to 4. Then totals really kind of shut off the further west you head, where western parts of Charles County, not as much. Nanjemoy 1.7. Looks like we're probably around that 1 to 2 range in Indian Head on over towards Clinton, Maryland. And then once you headed west of I-95, totals really dropped off. Only 0.2 at Reagan National. But look at some of these totals. And I tried to fit as many as I could on here on the map. You got 12 inches on over towards Lewis, Delaware. That's not where Lewis is, but I wanted to try to get that on there. 10 in Salisbury. So yeah, totals definitely kind of up there. And if I bring you on over into one of our programs, this program allows us to see the latest snowfall report. So these aren't all of them, but this is at least some of them. And we can see we have a 5-inch report here from Callaway 5.1. And this is kind of why you have to filter these a little bit. And then we have 2 in Compton. I don't know if we have a 3-inch spread there, but about 5 inches in Southern St. Mary's, 4 inches, 4.7 Heathsville, which makes sense. 9 on over towards Dover, 12 in Cape May. If we come back here through time, what we can see, I want to get that Ocean City one to pop up here. There's your 12 in Lewis, Delaware. In Sussex County, and look, you see that 10-inch report, 11 inches on out here, and these might be hard to see if you're on a phone, but generally looking at 11 to 12 right here from Ocean City on up to Rehoboth. And as you head up here into New Jersey, you got 12-inch reports, 14-inch reports coming in here near Brentwood. And that heavy snow is now getting up here. If we go back to how we were looking at things last night, let me just turn the precipitation typing off. Let's turn the snowfall reports off. You can see where we have these like bright green bands. These are the zones where you're getting that 1 to 2, maybe even 3 inch an hour snowfall rates pushing into Boston. This region is really on tap to see a good 18 to 30 inches out of the storm as it continues to push itself up to the north. Now let's get that off. Let's get us back to normal radar. And if I were to put on the overlay here, let's take a look at how things are shaping up now. And again, this played out almost exactly as we thought it would. You can see where our low is. So this circle here indicates the lowest pressure. To me, it looks like we might have that double barrel low we're talking about, where you have low pressure down here to the south and then another one trying to pop up here to the north. And that's what's helping to elongate this snow from the eastern shore northward. So that's what that looks. That's how that looks to be shaping up right now. But here on the backside, and these arrows here represent winds, and I'll turn the lines off to make it easier to see. On the backside of this storm now, we're getting into northwesterly winds, so the threat of coastal flooding isn't too big outside of maybe Westmoreland and King George County. But sustained winds, get Philip here. We don't want the snow depth, we want winds. Yeah, we're getting where you can get these yellows and these yellows, oranges. Those are sustained winds of 15, 20, 25 miles an hour, and then those gusts are getting upwards of 30 to 35 as this morning as well. So definitely a lot to look at. There is a lot going on. If we take you on over to a version of our Futurecast just using this computer program here. Let's take some of this off. There's our storm center. Actually, we can turn that back on the winds to help you see. And you can generally see how as you push here 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours out now, we're now getting to about 11 a.m. Snow is beginning to come to an end out here on the eastern shore. And then we're still getting that snow up here in southern parts of New England. And then as we fast forward this all the way to later on this evening, the snow is ending in New England as well. We're going to keep those gusty winds around, I think. So yeah, that's kind of where we stand with a lot of this. So healthy amount of snow across the region. And I'm very happy with the way the forecast worked out. Everyone at least saw the minimum range. Some of you even exceeded the upper range. And I'll show you that just one more time here. For those of you just now tuning in, wanting to know how much snow did we actually see. this is a general look at that again. Some of these totals aren't necessary. They might be a little undercut, and there is an official way you measure snowfall, which I know seems really like minute and like really, but there is a way just to make sure that totals are consistent. The way we've been doing it for years, decades. So it's possible if you're a mechanic, so you put your ruler outside, you're like, we got 6 or 7 inches, and that very well could be possible. Two things: we don't actually have a report in for Mechanicsville, an official report. So get trained with the National Weather Service to report snow totals in Mechanicsville. But secondly, what you're likely seeing with the totals, if you're going on and measuring now with the wind that's blowing around, you're getting that blowing and drifting, which is going to make it seem like there is a little bit more out there. So I would say, these could be a little underdone, but your jackpot zone really was Southern Calvert, Southern St. Mary's County. That was the area we forecasted 3 to 5, potentially up to 6. And sure enough, we've seen a good 4 to 6 inches of snow in that region. Then Ridge really is our big winner down there, 5.5 officially. Granted, some would argue Mechanicsville is our big winner with 6. So we'll see. But that's just kind of the general look at how things played out. So do stay warm today, but it's going to stay cold throughout the day. Those temperatures are staying in the 20s, wind chill staying in the teens, winds gusting upwards of 25, 30, 35, 40 miles an hour. So it's going to be a cold one out there. So stay safe. Stay with JB Weather. I'll continue to have updates for you on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram throughout the rest of today. And I'm sure we will talk again soon. So have a nice and safe one, and I will see you all soon.
Check the forecast anytime online at jbweather.net.